Imagine dancing until you drop. That's right, so today we are going to be talking about the dancing plague. The dancing plague of 1518 is a bizarre outbreak that no one can explain. It came and then it went. Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I am Lexi, aka the historical nurse. On this channel we dig up the strangest, most wildest and most jaw-dropping moments in medical nursing history. From weird diseases to strange medical practices, or if you just like weird stuff, you're in the right place. It all started in July 1518 in Strasbourg, a bustling city in the Holy Roman Empire, now modern day France. Now, bear in mind, this is the medieval times, so there are already a lot of people suffering from disease, famine, war and religious persecution. Frau Trophea, again, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. Frau Trophea, an ordinary woman, walked out of her home and began dancing in the street. Not with joy, not with music, but frantic, uncontrollable movements. She danced for hours without rest. By the second day, her feet were bleeding. By the third, people had started to gather to watch, unsure if it was madness or possession. That's right, even back in the day, if you did weird stuff, a crowd would gather around you, and I guarantee if they had smartphones, they would have filmed you as well. But the strangest part about this mystery is people started to join her in the frantic dancing. What started with one became an epidemic. Over 400 people began dancing uncontrollably throughout the streets. They flailed, they spun and convulsed day and night, collapsing from exhaustion, then to rise and dance again. So this wasn't a celebration, it was torment. Some reportedly screamed in agony whilst dancing, others begged for help, but they just could not stop. And by the end of the month, people had started to die, either from heart attacks, strokes, or just from sheer exhaustion. So the city was desperate, so physicians or doctors believed that it was some kind of natural illness caused by hot blood. And they recommended dancing as a cure. Now, I'm not really entirely sure what they mean by hot blood, but based on what I've done in my research, if you had a fever or you were sweating, they believed that if you sweated it out, it would make you better. So often they would recommend that you do activities to sweat the sweat out and make a new sweat to get rid of the old sweat. I tried to do some research on what hot blood meant, but from the explanation, I'm assuming it was just a fever of some kind. And they recommend more dancing so you can sweat out the fever, I think. Let me know if I'm talking absolute rubbish, but that's from what I understand from the research that I've done. The authorities even built a stage and hired musicians to encourage the dancing. So what was it? A mass hallucination, a disease, a curse? Even to date, no one can truly say for sure what caused it, but there are some leading theories. One theory blames ergot, a hallucinogenic mold that grew in rye bread. Every household would have rye bread. It was a staple in a lot of the medieval people's diet. And it contains similar chemicals to LSD and can cause convulsions and hallucinations. But critics argue that it would have caused more chaos, not synchronized dancing. And people generally understood where they were and what they were doing, but just couldn't stop themselves, if that makes sense. So when you hallucinate, you don't realize you're hallucinating. And that's the main difference. And you don't share hallucinations with other people. Normally when you hallucinate, it's personal to you, generally. Another theory is mass psychogenic illness, or today what we call mass hysteria. So under extreme stress of, famine, war, disease, religious persecution, people can develop stress and fear, and potentially that may have caused synchronized dancing. But also remember, this was a very deeply religious time. Saints and devils were generally feared by people and were in the forefront of people's minds. So some believe that dancing was a curse from Saint Vitus. Again, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. It's the patron saint of dancing and epilepsy. And I don't know about you, but I did not even realise there was a saint for epilepsy. I suppose there's a saint for everything. But yeah, there is a saint for epilepsy. FYI. Others think it may have been some kind of trance-like state, essentially some kind of ritual where one's suffering became a mirror of an entire community's stress. But here's the strange part. No single explanation fits perfectly. Each theory has holes and no one can really say for sure why it happened, and more importantly, why it stopped and never came back. Eventually, city officials changed their minds. They banned music, closed down dancing halls, got rid of the stages, and they moved the remaining dancers who hadn't died up to the mountain shrine where they can pray for mercy. After about 2 months, the dancing faded and never returned. And quite a lot of people died from it, unfortunately. What caused it? So, it's very hard to know. From my perspective, it could be some form of delirium. So delirium is what you get when you get an infection. Normally urine infections, chest infections, whatever. But normally affects the old, those who are at risk, the vulnerable, the unwell. So could it be delirium? But again, delirium is not something you share with someone else. Delirium is something that's personal to you. It makes you act strangely. In all my years of nursing, I don't think I've ever seen delirium cause dancing. I've seen it do other weird, wonderful things, but never synchronized dancing, which is interesting. I think the rye bread, the ergot mold in the rye bread has some benefits maybe. Who knows, maybe they're all cursed by a witch. Who are we to know? So, that is the dancing plague of 1518. One of history's many strange mysteries that we just don't understand. But also, why did it only affect one town? Why did it not affect the other towns? So Europe's very close. It's not like you have to get a boat to get to different countries, different towns. It's all linked together. So why did it affect only one town? So could it be something that was sent to the town that only the town had access to, such as a water supply, food supply? Help me out here. Let me know in the comments what you think it could be, because I honestly have no idea. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoy true medical mysteries, hit like, subscribe, and drop me a comment down below. Tell me what you think this is, and any other weird medical mysteries that you want me to cover. Anyway, until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and stay healthy.